Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tim, and welcome to Tim Talks. Earlier today, I released a video, Tim Talks to Griffin Ramsey. For those unfamiliar with the show, it's basically a chat show I do with various guests, delving into why they do what they do. As I speak to my various guests, I'll occasionally have a cut-in to a topic of whatever we happen to be discussing, usually some project my guest has been a part of. It's marginally successful, and it's a lot of fun. And right now, it's the only thing on my channel that consistently makes any sort of money, even if it is just a little bit. And that video, as the making of this video, is currently flagged under the new Content ID rules of YouTube. This past Monday, December 9th, a new system swept into effect, and with it a few of my videos, not just that one, have been flagged, as well as a ton of other videos across much bigger personalities than I. Now, for the sake of fairness, let's go through these. The first and second ones I received were in StarCraft 2 and Portal 2, Blizzard and Valve, for the opening cutscenes in both cases. Videos so early in my channel I hadn't even planned on monetizing them yet. I get it, a company has to protect itself from someone who would just throw up all the cutscenes, especially the beginning and end ones, and try and make money off of that. But I didn't do that. I would never do that. You'll never see that kind of video on my channel. It was given in the context of a larger playthrough, and with my commentary over top of it and actual physical gameplay, as well as the time that it took for me to edit that video together, which I more than willingly and lovingly give. Depending on the length of the video, it can take anywhere from 3 to 5 hours to write and produce and edit and put out there, or for the Guild Wars 2 video, several weeks, God. And so as of this moment, I have to balance it with a regular everyday job because, you know, I kind of have to live. I have this thing called hunger that needs to be satiated at least once a day. I need shelter from this uncharacteristically cold Austin winter, and, you know, I need power to do this at all. And all those things cost money. And so I tried my best to balance my time between doing that and making these videos because, quite frankly, that's what I love to do. And I want to eventually make that my sole source of income. But in the meantime, you know, as it stands now, they've deployed a possibly faulty algorithm that's making a Sherman's march across the entire spectrum. It seems to be hitting a few things harder than others, according to some of the research that I've done. Specifically trailers, video game music, and cutscenes, obviously. And as such, I'm staying away from some of the big offenders that are coming along. EA, Capcom, Sega, Nintendo, 2K. People started noticing changes back in May. But with this most recent wave, it's gotten to the point where some companies will just claim your video outright, some companies will remove its monetization ability completely, and some companies will still allow you to put it up, but every bit of potential revenue goes straight back to them. There are even reports on major networks of some footage getting copyright claimed that the publishers themselves gave to the networks to make the video in the first place to publicize the game. So some of the bigger personalities on YouTube have started to use their most useful tools, their video editing tools, to send a message to YouTube, to put a stop to this nonsense, to get it under control. And the message is very clear. We, no matter how large or small of a channel, no matter how frequent or infrequent of a viewer, if we want to continue to make these videos, if we want to continue to make a living doing so, we have two options. One slightly louder than the other. The first and most obvious method is to kick and yell and scream and fight and cuss and kick and scream and yell and kick and cuss and kick and cuss until something maybe gets done. And then, you know, I'm not opposed to the idea that's originally what this video was supposed to be about. But when I was going in and looking at my uploads page and comparing it to other people, I remembered that I was kind of lucky because I was using this list that I had found, Wiki actually, that had all of these different Let's Play friendly developers, mostly PC and indie developers oddly enough, that are okay with, or even, who'da thunk, downright happy to see people playing their game and making videos about their game and spreading word around, because essentially at the end of the day what we do is provide a service for them. We make an advertisement for the game, whether it be pointing out both good and bad things or just out and out lauding a great game because you find some gems on there that they didn't otherwise have to pay for. And they see the value in that. And then you, the consumer, are allowed to make a much more informed decision because of it. And while I might only get, 100 some odd of you to watch me play Antichamber or something, think about the tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of your favorite Let's Players videos get every single day. And so while we're not talking about billions of dollars, we're definitely talking about enough to make a decent living, to go to various conventions and do the coverage that you love so much, and not to mention repairs and equipment and personnel and expansion and yada 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 yada. The point is, by sticking to the developers that give us the okay to do these things, not only are we giving these better games the recognition that they deserve, but we're also taking away the airtime of the games that decide to level the hammer on us. And in the end, the only people that's going to hurt are the game companies that do so, and unfortunately the channels that are unable to adapt. I hold out hope that this is some sort of bug. I'll wake up tomorrow and want to read that somehow it was a giant mistake and it's been fixed. But I honestly felt that if I were to one day count myself amongst those people that called themselves a YouTuber, I have to defend myself. Not only for what I love to do, but for how I can make my money doing it. And even if it was just a mistake, it is certainly something we cannot allow to take hold. I'll continue to make the best content that I can make with the games that I'm able to make it with. I might not have the protection of a bigger network, but if I didn't use my slice of the internet to say something, to do something, then I would be part of the problem. And as such, I put links down in the description of various YouTubers delving deeper into the situation and how it affects the big picture and the dark implications that it can have for the future. I encourage you to share them, as well as this video, and get the word out. Because as Jim Sterling so eloquently put it, we, the new generation of gaming coverage, are not scared of you. But we have to do something, or else some company will come along and turn